I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it? Let's get it.
What's up, Cowboys Nation?
What is up? It's Monday. That means it's Jimmy D and Mike Tag in the house, right? So what's going on, everybody? Appreciate everyone jumping in the chat. We got a lot going on, a lot to talk about. Hopefully, you guys, if you saw last, did a little Sunday. I've been doing a little Sunday morning show, so get up early, Jimmy. You sleep in too much, you're missing all the good stuff. And then we got a lot of other good things going. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Get the business out of hand. This week, we got a very busy week. Of course, Jimmy D and I are getting ready to hit it off. But then we've got Chuck Howley. That video's dropping tomorrow morning. He's going in the Hall of Fame this weekend, so we want to make sure we drop that, give you a chance to see some history, hear some stories from his son, Scott Howley. So that's going to be dropping tomorrow morning, so you can play it while you're at work. Like get paid while you listen to it, right, Jimmy?
That's no, I'm telling you, man, it's a great idea. Look at and I did tune into party yesterday morning, so maybe I was relaxing, hanging out. But you brought up a good point. The channel's growing, so make sure everybody likes, subscribes, tell your friends. We have the fantasy football show coming out later this week.
It's going to be tomorrow. So we got the fantasy football show with the four horsemen. They're going to be breaking down some stuff. They're mainly going to be cracking on each other. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys, if you like fantasy football or like some entertainment, they're going to be debuting. And what do we got? We got a Giants fan. We got a Cowboys fan. We got a Broncos fan. And we got a Bucks fan. So you got a little bit of everything.
Well, I tell you, first of all, I don't know if anybody saw, but rest in peace, Pee Wee Herman passed away.
Oh.
Now, that was today. All I can think of is, remember how your brother used to do the paging Mr. Herman, Mr. Pee Wee Herman, there's a message at the front desk. So that's all that went through my mind was your brother. If you guys want to hear some funny shit and cracking, that's the show you want to listen to, and you're going to get some great advice on fantasy football.
No, absolutely. So make sure you guys check out. The most underrated Pee Wee Herman movie, I'm going to say, is Cheech and Chong, Nice Dreams. Cheech and Chong's Nice Dreams, where he plays like he's in an insane asylum, and Cheech is stuck in there, and he has to sit there, and he's like, I'm sorry. When they had to do the apology, I'm so sorry. But you just have to watch this. The funniest, I don't know. To me, it was funny as hell. My brother, that's the first thing he texted. My brother Louis texted me. First thing he said is he did the I'm not sorry, because at the end that's what he does. But it's Pee Wee Herman. We all grew up on him in this era, right, man? If you grew up in the 80s, 90s, he was part of it.
The other thing you mentioned yesterday was how, like I said, the channel's growing. And there's so-called experts on ESPN and all that crap. Think about it. ESPN is laying people off on a weekly basis. Meanwhile, the cave is growing and adding talent.
We're hiring people. You see, we're hiring talent. Thank you, Jimmy, for pointing that out. No one's getting paid, so they're all doing it on the strength of, for the little bit for the effort. That's all they want. But no, it's definitely, we've got some good things. So Scott Howley, that'll drop in the morning. So you guys make sure you listen to that during working hours so you can get paid. Then we got a live show, fantasy football. We got a good crew. I'm telling you, you're going to have some fun with them. You definitely can mix it up with those guys. I'll be checking in on that. And then Wednesday, Kelly, we got a special night because Thursday your boy's on vacation. So Wednesday, I don't know if Kelly's doing a show, but Wednesday we're doing a show with DallasCowboy.com. He's on all sorts of stuff. Kyle Yeomans, really an insider. We got boots on the ground at training camp. He's going to give us his thoughts, go through all that stuff. So if you're a Cowboys fan, you don't want to miss Wednesday night. That's going to be a fun show, and it's going to be all training camp, the battles, all this kind of stuff. So we're excited. We got a great back. Oh, they're talking about, which we're going to get into. Yeah. We're going to get into Everyone in the chat, Steven, Doug. I mean, we got who else we got? I can't see my son.
Ethan, Falcon, Steve, Doug, Vince, Fred, Cuts by Jones,
Oh, well, more importantly, if Cuts is in there,
Angelica. Yeah.
that's a reminder. We're getting close to that subscriber goal. And my man Cuts by Jones we're gonna be raffling off one of these beautiful cuts. Gotta have it if you're a Cowboys fan to put in your Cowboys cave. So make sure you tell your friends, spread the word. We need to get things rolling with that. And you got an opportunity to win that. And then more importantly, I put an APB out last week. A little concerned. I hadn't heard from a man, Eugene Lockhart. So been searching. So we got in touch indirectly. Everything's good. Everything's going well. So we're definitely going to be getting Eugene, back on the program. I told him he's got to come on Monday night because I'm sure we could mix it up with everything, not even just Cowboys. So we'll get that rolling.
That would be great, man. Like I said, that was one of the best shows. I'd love to just talk to him and have the opportunity to pick his brain a little bit. But yeah, man, there's a lot going on in the league right now.
No, we got
Cowboys
lots. So let's get to it. You see your boy's working the graphics. He's getting everything going. I'm trying to up my game. So what do we got? We got Ronald Jones, the Cowboys running back. I don't think any of us really even thought he was going to make it out of camp. None of us really had him as our guy that we want to, we're putting our hopes on. But he got suspended 2 games for PEDs. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. If they even keep him, do they cut him? I don't know how that stuff works. If you're suspended, if they can cut you, I guess they could. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works. Now, what I'm hearing in camp, and if we got anyone there, they can confirm it. My man Rico, the running back, who's been kind of on a team practice squad here and there. I mean, McCarthy and them are giving him high praise, and I mean, there's talking him getting some time, maybe pushing in for that number 2 running back. He wasn't even a thought for, honestly, for me. I thought it was going to be, Malik and then obviously Deuce Vaughn being that third back. But Rico's putting his name, not
Spider Rico.
Not Spider Rico. Rico Dowdle. I always screw up his name. Hopefully I said it right. But yes, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because Jones can practice, so he's still going to be at camp. He can still do all that stuff, but being suspended the first 2 games, for a veteran, that's probably not the most ideal thing you want when you're fighting for a roster spot. Probably doesn't look very good, but maybe they'll give him a lot of work in preseason. So, and then probably Jimmy, I know you don't care about the Cowboy news, but the interesting news of the weekend that was going around is our boy, former Cowboys coach, or I should say just assistant coach, Sean Payton. Him and Aaron Rodgers, had some words after Payton talked about his coach. Rodgers really snapped back, and I like it. Now, I don't know. I didn't understand, man. Usually you don't throw other coaches. There's kind of like a fraternity, but man, he threw him under the bus and just kind of drove over it afterwards too.
Yeah, and the best was Rodgers. You keep your coach's name out of you. What do you say? You keep my coach's name out of your mouth. Great response, man. He
did. The interesting thing is, the Jets play the Broncos this year.
Yes, they do. That's going to be, you know what? That's going to be good. And that's going to be, I tell you, speaking of the Jets, now that we're on the Jets, that's some stuff you don't see a whole lot anymore. I guess Rodgers is all in. I'll give him a lot of credit. So now it's Dalvin Cook might end up on the Jets.
That's the name, and Cook is trying to sell himself to the Cowboys, but I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, I that might be a good move for the Jets if they do it.
That and Mike Evans was the other thing.
Getting rid of Mike Evans.
Those are the 2 things I'm hearing about up here. Can you imagine Cook and Evans in New York with Rodgers if he's playing? As long as he doesn't get hurt. That's insane. Then
hopefully it's after week 2.
I was going to say, right. But that's when you see kind of a real shift in the AFC East. If they pull off either one or both of those moves, man, I don't know. The Bills are going to have it tough in the AFC East if that happens.
Yeah. No, I tell you that, Rodgers, I mean, I don't know. Is it me or does he look like he was on a big diet or something, man? He looks frail.
Yeah, he does. But it's like Brady. Remember when Brady came out last year and he looked like he's a crack whore? That's he doesn't look that bad, Rodgers, but I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to get lean And I mean, he's gonna have to bulk up a little bit before the season starts because he'll get hurt. You know, that's what he's asking for.
Yeah. Well, Parsons going to have something for him. So we're going to see what happens. And then the first big injury, what I would say, serious injury. It looks like Tim Patrick, receiver for the
Yeah,
Broncos, who made his name against the Cowboys. I was there on that dreadful Sunday where I didn't even know who Tim Patrick was, but I mean, we made him look like an all pro. And the only picture I could find of him was when he made this great catch you see in the video, against Diggs, which hurt my feelings. I was trying to find something else to do, but I couldn't find anything else, so I had to go with it. But he tore, I believe he had a knee injury last
yeah,
year, the whole season, does it again. So I mean, it could be career. I mean, how many times can you come back with that? As you
yeah.
saw, even with like Gallup, it's a 2-year process. He heard it, he's come back in a year, and he heard it again in training camp. So I mean, you don't like to see that. I mean, I don't
No,
anybody getting hurt.
no. I mean, that's like Pitts last year. Remember, he left. He got hurt in the middle of November with an MCL. So they're kind of letting him take it easy a little bit. And today was the first day in pads for the Falcons. And you just got to take it easy with that sort of thing. That's the last thing you want. Like you said, a guy like that, man, that could, if it's this, it's the same knee.
I don't know if it's the same one. I don't know. I'm guessing it probably is, but
Yeah, I hope not.
yeah, not
But
good, not good.
well,
And go ahead.
no, I was going to say, and then you have that, and that's a real big blow to Russell Wilson, who's
Yeah,
looking for a big comeback season. Uh, but on the other hand, did you see? So Joe Burrow and Josh Allen both got tweaked in practice. Josh Allen got his ass blown up on the last play of practice and was down on the ground for a couple seconds. It looked scary. Then he
they
got up,
hit
but
him.
hit him, blew his
Really?
ass up. Yeah, it was great. And it wasn't. I mean, it was an accident. I'm sure that the guy who did it's going to be cut tomorrow. He'll be gone. And then Burrow, I forget, I think it was a calf strain or something.
Yeah,
So he should be ready.
yeah. Well, the Bills guy got hurt, unfortunately, off the field. I mean,
Well, the other guy, yeah.
yeah. And Burrow's a little bit. I think Sam Williams, he went down today, shoulder injury. I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't know how much time he's going to miss, but when you're dealing with your shoulder as a pass rusher, it's probably the one
Yeah.
one of those areas that you really don't want to be get injured. But hopefully, everything's going well. But the beauty of it is Tyron Smith wasn't hurt, so that's a good sign.
Well,
This was a Cowboys' first padded practice, so it was a lot of excitement, a lot of stuff going on there. So it's football season, man, and more importantly, one more announcement. August 12th, the Cowboys, I believe it's opening the preseason for them on a Saturday. So you got myself, you got Jimmy D, you got Kelly K9. We're just going to do a Saturday night party, man. We're going to watch the game. We're going to have some cocktails. Hopefully you guys will join us. We're going to set a stream up to where you guys can jump in and out. If you want to jump in to say a few words on the, this and that, we're going to set it up. It's going to be a lot of fun. Very laid back. I couldn't do it during the regular season. I think we all agreed
yeah.
I ain't doing that crap during the regular season. But I figure preseason, it'll be our first chance to watch some guys. If you don't have the game, if you're not living in that area, your boy's got the hookup. Holler if you hear me. I will I'll make sure it sneak you some screenshots and this and that, whatever we can do without getting in trouble. But we could definitely get you guys updated on that. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. And definitely looking forward to that. And that's shoot, we got football this week, man. It's
Yeah,
back.
Thursday. And getting back to the happy hour. So we were trying to get it where the Falcons and Cowboys were playing at the same time, but that doesn't happen at all during the preseason. So the Falcons will have been on Friday. We'll start at, I think we said like 4:30 because the Cowboys are on at 5.
Yeah,
So we talk a little Falcons. Hopefully we did well, and then we'll see what the Cowboys do.
yeah. It'll
I
be a lot
remember,
of
but
fun, man.
but remember, I mean, your starters are playing the first quarter, maybe.
I don't think so. I think some starters will, but I don't think you're going to see Dak. I don't see you see the running back. And they see Pollard. You won't see CD. I mean, they've kind of gotten to this mode where they just don't play. I mean, none of these teams play anybody. So yeah, it's well, but we're gonna have fun, man. The
It's gonna be
beauty is
fun.
a Cowboys team is deep. There's going to be starters out there. There's going to be guys fighting for positions. So we're definitely going to get into some more Cowboys talk. But just kind of finishing up in the NFL is, Jonathan Taylor, the Colts running back. He's demanding a trade. Don't really have much. I don't think he's got much leverage. So we're going to see what happens with him. We talked about Aaron Rodgers, obviously with Sean Payton. He wasn't mixing any of his words. And then really the other news for the Cowboys is Zack Martin still not in camp. Jerry Jones had some words, and it just looks like there might be they might be squaring off and see who budges first. But that is a player that you really you don't want to be without. I mean, I'm not as worried about him missing these couple weeks of training camp and this that. I mean, he's a professional. He's working out. He's doing all this kind of stuff, but you don't want it to drag out too long. You don't want to drag it out into the season or right before the season, things like that. I mean, he's our best. I mean, if you're just talking about best player, I mean, he's our best offensive player. When you look at the All Pros, the Pro Bowls, and this and that, and he means so much to this line. I mean, he's the anchor. He's the leader of that group. So definitely, I thought it would have been wrapped up sooner. I thought when they signed Diggs, maybe they were kind of working some maneuvers around to free up some money. But, Jones said some things like, hey, man, the guy's been paid. He's been paid at the top for many years, so it almost like he's, it's going to be interesting.
Well, it's funny getting back, when you're talking about Jonathan Taylor. So the Colts owner said something to the effect of, if I die tomorrow and Jonathan Taylor's out of league, nobody's going to care, or something just stupid. Okay. And like you said, I don't know what kind of money he's commanding right now, but at the end of the day, you don't say that in public. It's just stupid. Just like with Sean Payton, stupid.
Yeah.
Why are you going to antagonize people like that? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No,
Right?
I mean, it's, but he's he's a Hall of Famer. So right now he's a Hall of Famer on the line. You got Tyron Smith too, but Martin is still the best. It'll be interesting. Hopefully they can figure it out and come to some kind of conclusion. I know they've got to sign CD. They've got to sign Parsons. I mean, like Jerry likes to say, there's only so much pie to go around. So hopefully there's a sliver left for Zack Martin. Maybe they can meet in the middle. I mean, he's $7 million. There's a $7 million gap between him and the highest paid guard. That's pretty significant. In my job, I could just promise you, if I was paid significantly less than one of my compadres that I was outperforming, I would probably have a lot of issue with it. So it's business. It's why I don't really get excited about it. I'm not going to get, I know my man Ultra gets so, it always amazes me. It's the one industry where the owners, the fans have the owner's side, like the billionaire side. And it's really, sports is the one thing that does it, because if in a workplace, it's like everyone is pro employee, screw the owners, screw this, you know what I mean? Get whatever you can. But when it comes to sports, what's up, Big E? When it comes to sports, it's reverse. So I stay out of it. Not my business, not my problem. They hit me up for the tickets. There's nothing I can do about that. But hopefully they work it out. Well, I agree with you. Ultra, honor the contract. Let the owners honor the contract they give the players. It's got to work both ways. These contracts aren't guaranteed, my man. This isn't basketball. This isn't baseball. These guys, NFL, this is what the owners did, and this is what the players decided. I blame both. The players should have been stronger and demanded guaranteed contracts. Then, to Ultra's point, I would agree 1,000%. Honor your contract. You signed it. You do it. But the problem is the owners can cut you and don't have to pay
just like that
afterwards. So it's different. Unfortunately, it's different. But
well, you know why? And I think I know why it is like this in sports, because you don't know what the owner's making, right? The player signed a big ass contract for X amount of years. That's why. You know exactly what they're making.
Yeah.
And that, people are like, damn, that's greedy and this and that. You don't know what the owner's making. Nobody does, because they have probably multiple businesses going on behind the scenes anyway.
Well, I mean, the values of the franchise, and hey, again, the owners, they get whatever they put their, Jerry put his ass on the line. He bought the team. He did everything. All the money he's making, he deserves it. I'm that
Oh,
way
I
too.
agree.
You know, I'm not that way. I'm not going to hate on the owners and say, hey, you need to give back this money. You need to do that. You're making too much money. It's a business. That's why I said I stay out of the money side of it. It's just unfortunate that Martin's not there. I wish wish they work it out. Hopefully they work it out. If they don't, come week one, I'm still riding with the Cowboys, man. I'm a fan of the team. That's just the way it works. So hopefully
Well,
they figure it out.
did you see Zeke was having a candlelight dinner with Mac Jones the other night in New England?
Say what?
Zeke was having a candlelight dinner with Mac Jones the
Oh
other
yeah,
night.
I was gonna talk about Zeke to New England. I tell you what, that would be a good spot for him. That would be a good
Yes.
spot. I think what the running backs really, not even just Zeke, but the running backs as a whole, they just need to come back and they just got to understand the value of where they're at today as you get into unfortunately your early your mid 20s on that second contract type of thing. It's just different. And they don't have the leverage. It's like Etienne came out and he said, hey, the running backs, they look at McCaffrey. You're going to have to be versatile. You have to change your game.
Mhm.
You have to do all this kind of stuff. You just got to be that piece. But that's just what the running back position has kind of gone to. I mean, everything goes in cycles. I mean, there
Yes.
was a time where the running backs were pretty much paid like quarterbacks, and
Not
that's
anymore.
just the cycle has changed, and you kind of go with the ebbs and flows of it, and like I said, it's business and it's supply and demand, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of, I mean, look at the Seattle Seahawks. They lost Walker's out, their other running backs out. I think DJ Dallas might be hurt or he might be okay. They had to sign a running back. They signed a guy I never even heard of. I don't know. Maybe he played in the NFL, maybe he didn't. I have no clue.
Play in the USFL.
Is that what he did? USFL, maybe? Is that what he did?
Maybe.
So I don't know. So that just tells you that the value that there is in the running backs is what it is. So if I'm Zeke, I'm Cook, I'm probably I'm probably looking because they got the money. Right? I'm looking at where's the best opportunity for me to succeed, to showcase your skills, to maybe get another 1 year deal at maybe a little bit more money. I would be looking more at the opportunity than the dollars, if that makes any sense.
Well, I mean, when you get into and look, like we said, these guys got to stockpile as much money as they can because the shelf life is short nowadays for running back. It's short anyway, but
Yeah.
especially now with this cycle going on. So they got to stockpile as much money as they can. But then you say, well, geez, do I take $1 million less to go to a winning team and a contender? What do you do? Look at Josh Jacobs turned down top 5 running back money, allegedly, just a few days ago. So, I mean, top 5 running back money, take it and
No, you
go,
got
man.
it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's the thing is they get, a buddy, he's a Jets fan, totally delusional guy, doesn't take life serious. Don't take life serious. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got to know your value. You got to know your market. I mean,
Yeah,
that's just, at the end of the day, these guys got to understand it. And, like I said, they can wait it out. I mean, the thing for them to do is wait it out and then just kind of see what happens.
because well, look at Buffalo's still looking for running back. I heard a rumor, and this better be far from the truth. Some nonsense about Cordell Patterson going to Buffalo, and I would be pissed. I don't want to be messing with things in Atlanta. I'm happy with the way things are. Keep CP84. He's just a versatile player, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
No, I would be surprised, but I mean, when you draft Bijan at 8, I mean, and a running back, no less, you're drafting him to be the man. I
Well,
mean, that's just, but Patterson can be used all over the place.
well, that's the thing. Okay, so like I've said, we got Pitt, we got London, right? So Patterson is versatile. You can put him anywhere. We go from that. Mac Hollins, our number 2 receiver. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll take, Patterson, running, all sorts of routes and lining up everywhere. And getting back to somebody asked me last week about fantasy. Now, obviously, we have the fantasy football show tomorrow. So those are the experts. I'm not an
Those
expert,
are
but
the
just
experts. I know nothing.
knowing my team, I said I told you guys last week, I think it's gonna be a 60-40. With Bijan taking 60 and Algier taking 40. I stick to that and let
I
them
don't
prove
believe
me
it.
wrong. Let them
I don't
prove me
believe
wrong.
it. I don't believe it.
Although he did, man. Bijan did a route yesterday that juked. It might have been AJ Terrell out of his friggin' jock. It was it was like a 30-yard
No, I
throw
mean,
and catch.
if you're drafting Bijan, I mean, and same thing with the Detroit running back Gibbs. I mean, they're drafting him. You saw what they did. They got rid of Swift. I mean, if you're drafting your running back in the first round now, I mean, he's got to be the man and he's going to be the workhorse. So he's got to be special. And to Big E's point, that's why Barkley. I mean, he said everything, but I think finally maybe his agent said, "Hey, look, dude. You ain't got no leverage, man. You want 10 or $11 million, you want nothing. I mean, that's pretty much all you got. The Giants went ahead and signed Robinson, who was a capable back. That was their, hey, if you don't want to come in, we'll get another running back. You got no leverage. So that was pretty much, that pretty much closed that. And you saw Pollard even. Pollard's like, hey, man, Pollard hadn't seen a big deal. He hadn't seen any money. This is his first opportunity to get, $10 million that's a lot of scratch, man.
That's a few bucks. Yeah.
That's life changing. That's generational wealth that you can have if you invest it right. So like I said, it's business, man. It's everything goes in cycles. Cornerbacks are top paid. They weren't before. But now you got receivers. It's a passing game. They're getting more receivers to get top paid. So now you got to have the cornerbacks to cover them. The cornerbacks are getting top paid. You got to get to the quarterback. So the pass rushers are going to be top paid. Yeah. There's not much running back. So that's why you're seeing a lot of your middle linebackers and your side to side. Those guys aren't getting paid because teams are passing. Now you're going to bring safeties down in this net. So it's all basically how the matchup is in the NFL. If the NFL switches back to running the ball and you start getting some big dudes running the ball going through the line and they need to get bigger linebackers to stop it, then it all goes back in a cycle. It all goes in a cycle.
And Ultra, to your point, you said the Falcons are looking for a quarterback. We look at Desmond Ritter's a second-year guy. He won his last 4 games last year. I sound like a broken record. I've said it 100 times. You're ripping on Dak Prescott all the time. Worry about your own quarterback situation. Ritter's a young guy, and I think we're building a team around him, and we'll see what happens.
Don't be talking about Dak Prescott.
Well, no. I'm not ripping on Prescott. I'm talking about Ultra ripping on Prescott all the time. So keep my quarterback out of your mouth.
Keep him out of Could be using that.
It's a great line.
Be using that from now on. So I got to ask you, just to change gears a little bit from football. I don't know. Are you a big fight fan? I like boxing, so I watched that. I watched Spence and Crawford, and Spence is a Texas guy, Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Look, it was built up to be. What do you got? Did you have?
Did you go to the fight? What? No, actually, I was at a different fight. I went to an exhibition bout. Oh. It was this, and it was Rocky Balboa versus Thunderlips.
Yes, Thunderlips. You went to that one. I went to that one from back in '83, huh?
No, they actually had a rematch this past weekend. It was great. Yeah, you missed it. I'm surprised you all those channels you got. You didn't get that.
Oh man, I apologize. I don't know. I know Hogan seems to be hurting for some money. He's doing karaoke down in Clearwater Beach, so I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. But what's that say to me? Yeah, no, I know. But here's the thing. This is what's funny, and I want to get to the fight, but it's true. I mean, Madden has a big influence, right? It's stupid me. I guess I'm still not hip to the passing thing. Someone said that your running backs run it like 3 or 4 times a game. My running backs get like 20 carries a game on Madden. I still do it. I still have a run first offense. Maybe that's why I can't beat some of these other kids that I end up, these 13-year-olds that are whooping my ass online. But that's the way I still do it, man. I'm behind the times. So, but no.
So the fight, and in fairness, I was watching the exhibition bout between Balboa and Thunderlips. I'd missed the other fight, so I heard it wasn't that good.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, you had Crawford and Spence both undefeated, both arguing, pound for pound, who's the best fighter. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to see if I can get it. And I don't, and I should have known better. Uncle Cheech, I think I saved it. Uncle Cheech texted me, and I know everyone's, hey, where's Uncle Cheech been? Uncle Cheech texted me, and I don't know if I can get it on there. Yeah, I guess it's not going to show. But he texted me, I haven't seen either one of these guys fight, but I heard Spence had trouble making weight. I'll take Crawford. And I was rooting for Spence. He's a Texas guy, Cowboys. So Crawford gave him a beating. Let me just tell you, it was a beating. He knocked him down with a jab in the second round. Now, if you knock a guy down with a jab in the second round, that's trouble. And it got to a point where I think he ended up knocking him down 3 times. He just was never even in the fight. Now, I don't know if making weight and this, any of that had anything to do with it. The guy, he was head and shoulders. It wasn't even close. And they're
Right.
talking about Spence has a clause for a rematch. If he wants it, he has to give him a rematch. I don't know why he'd want one. If I was him, I wouldn't want that. Yeah, it's like what did Tony say in Rocky? I never
What?
seen a man take a beat. We don't need
Oh
a man
yeah, yeah.
in our life.
We don't want that kind of man in our life. Let it
Spence
go.
don't want that kind of man in his life because
Let it
that dude
go.
gave him a beating. He gave him a
It's
beating.
all wrong for us, baby.
Yeah, yeah. Let it go. Let it. He might have to let it go. Now,
Now wait a minute.
go ahead.
So did Uncle Cheech reach out to you on his burner phone?
Yeah, he's. I don't
I've
know. He
been
was in
wondering where
Vegas. He was in Vegas,
that.
but
Mm.
he just, he's because he said, "Hey, man, because he knew I was Spence, he goes, if you want to make some money, I'm just telling you, this is what it is." So, uh, oh, Wilder and Fury, yeah, you don't want to do that. Fury whooped his ass, but yeah, I don't know if they're going to do a rematch. Now, if he had trouble making weight, now I'm no professional, but in high school I wrestled, whatever. I had to cut weight, and I remember cutting weight like 6 pounds. I said this story Saturday. I had to lose 6 pounds the night before for weigh-ins in a match, and I did it. I lost the weight, and I went out, and then about 20 seconds into the match, I was dead, and I got the shit beat out of me. So I told my coach that I'm not losing weight no more. If I got to go up, then I'll have to wrestle up, whatever it is that I got to do to keep my spot. But there was no way. I just couldn't do it. But I mean, these guys are professionals. They weigh in before. So I
Right.
mean, I don't know. But if they rematch, I know Spence will probably try and get to 54 to see if they'll fight up at 54. But man, it was a beating. I was expecting a 12 round kind of back and forth fight, but it was definitely one sided.
Well, and you know what? They'll probably fight just for the money. Why wouldn't you? Even if you catch a beating, if you're getting a payday, who cares, right?
No,
But
no. But
I
then
want to
they
ask you.
interview him afterwards. That's the worst part. Like the dude got a beating. His head was like he looked like. Do you remember when like Will Smith? He was allergic to something, and his face was all like
Yeah,
was all swollen and stuff. His face was as red as his gloves, and he was all swollen. He definitely was out of it a little bit. I mean, he just got done getting knocked down twice, and I mean, why do they interview him? I mean, he just did not sound coherent, didn't sound. I mean, it was just like,
well,
why do you do a guy like that? Let him kind of give him a day to get his stuff together, and then let him talk.
I did see the interview. I don't even think he knew where he was. I don't even know if he knew what
No,
planet he was on.
no,
Definitely
no.
not on his A game.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, getting back to dropping weight for wrestling. Would you do the old put the trash bags on
Yeah,
and run
they do the
outside?
trash bags. Yeah, you do the trash bags and just run, 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 run. And it's all water weight. And then, you
Yeah,
weigh in. But see, where that's different than boxing a little bit. You weigh in and then you're wrestling like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours later. So it's
yeah,
not like you got days to recover. It's like, boom, you got to, you make the weight and you got to try and gain all that weight, all that water weight and everything you lost. But you got no energy.
yeah.
So,
You don't have time. Time is the issue, and that's the thing. You're dehydrated. You're done, right?
yeah,
It's
but I don't
different for those
think that
guys.
was the case for him. I don't think that was I just think that dude just looked a lot better. Like I said, if you knock someone down with a jab, that's pretty damn impressive. I mean, it is. And that guy, and Spence never was knocked down. I mean, his career. So, but yeah. But
Well,
anyway, it
how many
was.
rounds did that go? How many rounds did that go?
Someone correct me in the chat. It was either 9 rounds they stopped it or 7. I can't remember. It was later.
Mm,
It was later in the fight because I know J Tuck, going back and forth, and he had money if it went to decision, and then they stopped it, which I thought they could have stopped it like a round. If they would have stopped it around or round 9, if they would have stopped it a round or two earlier, I wouldn't have had any issues with it. Because like I said, you could see the look on Spence's face. I think he just knew there's nothing he can do, and he just wants this over. Like he was. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just and you get in those things, man. You get in those, fighters. Teams have that happen. I mean, anything in when you're competing in any kind of sport, if they're getting the best of you, it's like you get that look on your
Yeah.
face, and there's nothing going to change. It's
Yeah.
just like,
You see that look in his eyes? He's
yeah,
scared,
put me out of
right?
my misery, man.
So all you think of is Rocky in the corner when he's just sitting there like this, and Clubber Lang comes up and
It was, but yeah, I mean, I love good boxing. Good boxing matches, man. You don't
you
get many. You don't get many big fight. This was a big fight. You don't get many big hyped up fights like you did back in the day with all those guys.
and you were always the biggest boxing fan out of the whole crew we hung out with. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember you were all into that, and you knew everything and everybody. But I think UFC kind of took a lot of the the money from boxing and a lot of the pay-per-view
Yeah.
buys, if you will.
They even had I didn't even know it because I'm not huge on UFC, but I'll watch it like a
Never
big
mind.
fight or something like that. There was a fight that they were competing. Like they had that big boxing match. Then they had UFC, whatever, 261 or
Yeah.
what the hell it is now. They had that as well. So
And
my
imagine adding professional what's that?
my thing is hopefully I stay up to watch it. I'm at that point.
Well, so you got to keep drinking, man.
I
Keep
know.
yourself awake.
We
You
did.
know,
We went out for drinks before.
that was a very nice Polaroid of yourself and your bride
Yes,
out. Was that at the same place you guys brought me that time when I was drunk?
No, no. There's a place in Fatty's Fish Shack. So they have live music all weekend. So we
Okay.
went up there and they have different genres. We were there. They had grunge one night. This tonight or that Friday night, it was kind of like 70s, not hard, not classic rock, but a little bit of maybe like maybe soft rock kind of thing.
Okay. It's up my alley. You know that. Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of, we're talking about UFC, we're talking about boxing, well, professional wrestling. AEW Dynamite is in the Tampa Bay area this Wednesday. It's their 200th episode.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Still not quite caught up to the WWE, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Are the
Yeah.
Falcons winning the South this year?
Do you think the Falcons are going to win the South?
Yeah, I think we're going to win the South. Like I said, Tampa Bay soul searching, and I don't see, I don't see any way we don't win the NFC South. I just don't. We're going to have at least 9 wins this season, if not 10.
Wow.
I mean,
That's
I'm,
going
I'm,
to come
I'm
down to your
serious.
quarterback.
What's that?
It's all going to be your quarterback. Your quarterback
Well,
has to. I mean, he played well in the last 4 games, but I mean, what I'm saying is he's going to have to take.
Sure.
I mean, it's going to be on his shoulders if he takes that next step, that big step up. Then you guys, because like you said, your division is Saints are probably that's going to be the one that you got to worry about the most.
That's the formidable opponent,
Yeah.
But I think look, I think we're going to have 9 or 10 wins. And talking about the quarterback Ritter, look, we're building an offense around him. Coach Smith has it down. I think, he had a press conference today and he was talking about this, that, and the other thing. Obviously, not spilling the beans, but I mean, they're looking good. They're looking good so far in training camp. We're not going to see the real thing. I always say you're 3 games in until you see how teams are really playing. 3 games into the regular season.
Yo,
I
yeah.
don't,
At
anything
least
before that doesn't count.
4 games, and you can go 4 games if you want, because it's just But Jimmy wasn't
That's
here.
it.
But we've been to Porky's. We've been to Porky's. That's in Andy. The Porky's was built on Andy. It was about Andy Town. There was a town in between Alligator Alley, in the middle of Alligator. It's not even there anymore. The town's gone. But that's my grandparents. That's where they used to. I guess everyone used to kind of drive out
Yeah.
there for the drinking and all that kind of stuff. But that's what my dad told me anyway.
And Ethan's right. If you believe in Carr, we'll see what happens, Doug. And that's the thing, Doug. Again, we'll see what happens. I don't know if Derek Carr blows, but I don't think he's going to be playing as great as everybody anticipates down in Louisiana.
Yeah. Now, I like Derek Carr as a person, so I hope he does well. I think he's a stand-up guy. I think he got kind of, a bad deal in with the Raiders. I don't like the Raiders coach, so you knew that was coming the way he was. But Carr seems to be a stand-up guy. He does, he's always put up good numbers until McDaniel, got there, and then all of a sudden he had his worst year, and they changed the offense and did everything, and it ends up being Carr's fault, I guess. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. But that division's it's a toss. I think it's going to be a toss up between the Saints and the Falcons.
Hey, look, last year, one game. Now remember, it was one game kept us from hosting the Cowboys in the
I know.
divisional playoff, right? Now think about it. We were in Tampa. We were on the verge of actually getting the ball for a final drive. Grady Jarrett with a picture perfect sack on Brady. I mean, it was textbook. You couldn't have, done any better. And they throw the flag, roughing the passer, and Brady got nothing. He actually swung his foot at Grady Jarrett. Brady got nothing. Jarrett got 15 yards, and they get the first down. So they closed the game out, which was ridiculous. One of the worst calls of all of last season. So that one game could have actually swung it our way.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I mean, that's why these games are so important. That's why, again, I get pissed off when they take games away and they put it overseas. Nothing against having, building your European fan base. We have a lot of fans in England and Germany and all that. So it's not against that, but it is these games. It comes down to that one game, one play, one this,
Right.
one that. It's so critical. But I wanted to tell, Ultra is when Uncle Cheech comes on, you have to ask him. He's got a lot of insight on Porky's because he said it was based on Uncle Cheech's high school days. That I'm almost sure he either went to that school where they filmed it, and I think it was filmed at Old Fort Lauderdale High. And because he said, if you ever look at the scene where the guys go underground, they look at the girl's shower, that shower scene, you can hear the band in the background. You hear the music playing. Well, the band was next to the girls' locker room. And so anyway, that was the little bit of trivia I can give you, some history. But I think it was Old Fort Lauderdale High it was filmed at. But anyway.
Yeah, and they called it what, Angel Beach,
Angel
I think
Beach.
it was. Yeah, Angel Beach. Now, it's funny because I was watching. Remember Better Off Dead? That
Great
movie with this great movie where Pork guy who played Pork. He's actually in that movie running his own like barbecue joint.
Yeah, with the hamburger,
with the burger.
To the hamburger.
Oh gosh.
No, it's I love I love those 80s. We were watching some. God, I was telling the kids about some 80s movie. It's like, what could you do? Like, just one of the guys. Like, you think of some of these movies back in the day. Like, you could never. I guess I don't think they would even allow that today. Like some of that comedy, those good 80s movies, even like Weird Science and things like that. It was
another great movie.
Different times, man. It was different times, man. We're living in different times. But anyway, so. What else is happening in the world of sports? What did I miss, Jimmy? What are you guys in the chat? What are you guys hearing, and what are we missing?
Well, Ultra called out. He asked me why I wasn't wearing my Aaron Boone shirt instead of my Thunder Lips and Balboa. Trade deadline coming up. So look, I want Boone. I want him out of here. Him and Cashman both gone. And I don't want to hear. Judge comes back Friday. He's supposed to come back from injury Friday, right? But that, to me, again, Boone with some stupid moves this season, pulling pitchers when he shouldn't have. I know there's been injuries. Look, you got to play with injuries. That's part of the deal. I don't want to hear because we lost Judge. All of a sudden we went to a free fall. We're 9 games back. There's still a chance that we could actually, we're playing the Rays right now. I don't know what the score is. We were losing 2-0. But again, get rid of Boone, get rid of Cashman. I'm not happy with either of them. Let's play the season out, see what happens. Hey, back in '78, the Yankees did the same thing. They canned Billy Martin, put in Bob Lemon, ended up coming from 14 games back, right? They're talking about getting Bellinger from the Cubs, Soto from the Padres. Look, that we can get them, and they would be great additions to the outfield. But if you have Boone making just stupid-ass decisions, instead of – the guy's been – playing baseball probably for 40 years or more. Yeah. You don't need to go to the analytics or to the book. You can use your gut. And that's what, anybody who's been playing the game or in the game that long, any game should be able to do.
Yeah. Well, Ultra says Yankees ain't making playoffs. Go ahead and forget about it.
We're 8.5 back. I mean, there's still a chance. There's still a chance, right?
No. And I know, Ethan, we talked about Jonathan Taylor. We talked about it earlier. It's crazy. And
shut your mouth.
And the Zeke, The Zeke thing playing on another team. I'm looking and I have a rule that, when you leave the team, if you go to another team, I got to take you out of the cave. And I have this bottom row over here with all this my Zeke stuff. I'm a big Zeke fan. I'm always a fan of the running back. So I got to put it all in a box if he ends up going to another team. Now, if he doesn't go on another team, he stays in the cave. Like he's
Yeah.
welcome. He stays in the cave. I had to take Witten out one time. I had to take Dez out another time. Every now and then you got to make some changes
Yeah.
because he can't have that mojo in there. So hopefully, hopefully it doesn't play. Yeah, I guess I'd say hopefully that's being selfish. I hope he lands in a team where he's got an opportunity. I still think he's got some some tread left on the tire. I think in the right situation, I think he could be a good. I think now he's more of a complimentary back, short yardage, goal line, grind it out kind of guy. So I think he just needs to find that right situation where he can have, we're going to have the best opportunity for success. And I think that's, like I said, all these, no, I can't leave him in there. Can't leave him in. Like I said, I wish I could, but if they're in another team, I can't look at it and do that. It's just like my son. I'll give you we'll just talk shop. My son had his fantasy draft. He's got his friends going away to college and that, so he does his fantasy draft. And he comes back, "Hey Dad, look at my team. Tell me what you think." Now he's a fantasy expert. He's going to be on the show. He's going to be one of the guys that's on the fantasy show tomorrow. He takes Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts is probably a great fantasy pick, right? I mean, he runs, he does this, but I'm a Cowboys fan. I could never, and I'm just telling you, I could never have Hurts. I wouldn't take Daniel Jones, even though I wouldn't take him anyway. I could never take a quarterback that's on my, team in my division because that's just going to make that just kind of skews the lines. You know what I mean? It just it muddies the water a little bit. So those guys are off my board. I'm not taking those guys. So because when they play Dallas and there's $800 on the line and winning the whole thing, I'm still taking Dallas, but it's going to be painful.
Well, I used to take, who was, the name escapes me, the tight end that was on the Cowboys for a long time.
I agree with you, Ultra. I told him that. Which one?
Back in maybe about 15 years ago, all pro tight end you guys had for years. Back in
Novacek,
2000.
you talking about way back when or no?
No. Closer than that.
Witten?
Witten. Yeah, Witten. Man, I used to get points from him.
Witten was a few years ago.
No, was that short ago?
Yeah, he played
longer
with Dak. I mean, last year, he played with the Raiders. He was at the Cowboys a few years ago.
He used to give me points all the time. How are the Mets holding up? Well, Scherzer's gone. Verlander's probably going to be gone. They're more of a disappointment than the Yankees, and that's saying a lot.
So Scherzer, was he hurt at all? Or they just got? I mean, I don't follow baseball as much. They just dumped him.
Yeah, they dumped him. With Texas, I think he went to the Rangers. Went down to Arlington. So
look at now he's trying to defend himself. His mind has
betrayed him.
I don't care what league it's in. I am not taking an Eagle quarterback on any of my leagues ever. Ain't happening. Never.
No, because then you're put in that spot where I got to root for this guy who I need to lose. You can't do that.
Every week I got to root for him to lose.
Right.
I'm going to have him as my quarterback, hoping that he does well. There's just no way it's going to. Like Big Perm said it. You play with my emotions. You can't be doing that, man.
You know what, man? It's crazy. Last night my kids and my wife and one of my kids' girlfriend was here, and we're sitting inside. We hear the the ice cream truck driving by. Good humor. First thing I said was, "Hey, it's Big Perm." I swear to God. Oh God.
No, just to be fair, Zeke is welcome back in the cave when he retires. I'm saying as an active, I cannot have former Cowboys that are playing on another team inside the cave. It's something I have. It's something I believe in. I got to stay consistent. I can't make exceptions. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully that'll be a moot point. But anyway, the other thing that we had in case just another programming
Yeah.
note in case any of you guys missed it because definitely got a ton of feedback, ton of positive. Was on Anthony Dorsett. We had Anthony Dorsett in the cave, son of Tony Dorsett, but he played in those 2 Super Bowls. One with the Rams Titans. Then he played with the Raiders against the Bucks. So I asked him about, I don't know if you caught the show or not, but I asked him about that game and why, you guys had a chance. You had to figure you're going to play Gruden. There's a chance. And he goes, no, absolutely. He goes, Tim Brown, Jerry Rice went into Callahan's office and said, hey, maybe we need to throw some wrinkles in here. There's a chance that we're going to be, we could see the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. Maybe we need to throw some stuff in there. And he basically threw them out. Said, you guys worry about your own business or something. He said something to that effect. You talk about 2 Hall of Fame receivers
Right.
you had on your team. You think that Jerry Rice had a lot of jewelry. On top of that, you think that you'd say you'd listen to him. You had Rich Gannon. I mean, you had all. It's just like he said. Rich Gannon was the MVP and other. He goes, you just don't throw 5 interceptions in a Super Bowl or however many threw. He goes, that just don't happen. They knew every play that they were running. They heard them on the field calling the plays that they were running. They're basically set everything up. And John Lynch, if you listen to the audios, they're mic'd up and you hear it afterwards. I mean, they laughed about it. And I mean, how stupid of a coach. I mean, arrogant, whatever you want to put, but I couldn't believe it. And I don't know if they would have beat the Bucks, but man,
what a dummy.
That's like, God.
Right. Well, no, and it's arrogance. I think it's more arrogance. But when you let your ego get involved, that's where the problems happen. That's when your judgment becomes clouded.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And it was a great interview, by the way.
No, well, it was great talking about his father. Some of the memories of his father and some of the interaction he had with Jerry Jones about it. And just some of these different things. It was good. I mean, it was definitely. I love talking to some of the these guys, and we got more to come. The big one, I'm just trying to lock down the time. He gave us the date, which I think is August 8th. Daryl Moose Johnston's going to be coming in the cave, do a Cowboys preview. We're not going to, it may only be like a 30 minutes, something like that. We got to respect his time. So we might not be able to get in as deep into the 90s as I would love to do. But definitely we're going to touch a little bit on it, especially, like Kelly was talking about, really the impact that he had on Emmitt Smith's career. And you saw it at the Hall of Fame where, Emmitt Smith got really emotional just saying Moose Johnson's name because he knows what he sacrificed. We had fullbacks back then. I don't have fullbacks too much now, but I mean, he got the first linebacker hit, he had to take that first hit to get Emmitt free, and that's pretty selfless. To do,
Yeah.
be that kind of player.
No, and you know what? And that was actually, I don't know if you remember. Actually, I don't know if you remember. There was one time we had it was you, me, and a friend of ours who will remain nameless, the Biggins.
Yeah.
He was over, and I mentioned liking Moose Johnston. This is years ago. This is like in the early 90s. And he was calling me out saying, you don't know nothing about that. And we threw down in your room. I don't know if you remember this. Oh, yeah. I mean, he got the better of me because he weighed, 300 pounds. But yeah, he got all pissed because he thought I was kissing your ass. And I said, no, I like the guy. He's a great,
Well, I mean, I think they created the Pro Bowl fullback for Moose Johnston, right? For that, wasn't it in that, they started doing the fullback Pro Bowl. I thought they started doing it around his time. Again, I could be wrong, but I mean, that's how much of an impact he had. But even fullbacks at that time, I mean, I remember William Floyd. I mean, I hated him. He was a fullback for the 49ers. I mean, it was like, oh God, he was nasty. And I mean, there was just a lot of great fullbacks in that time. Obviously, that position's kind of gone by the wayside. In the passing league, you want more receivers out there. So I get it, but it's, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, that's really one of the ones. There's a few interviews that, you really get, that it's on your bucket list. One of the triplets would be on my bucket list, but Moose Johnston, I love him as a commentator too. I think he's a great commentator on top of, his football knowledge, doing the USFL. I mean, he was over all that. I mean, pretty much, I think he was the president. I think they had him president of USFL, and just curious to see what his thoughts are. I mean, Dallas is taking advantage of that USFL right now. Obviously, you had Turpin they got from the USFL. They got the kicker from the USFL. I think my man from the U, Charleston Rambo, he was either XFL or USFL, but needless to say, that league, that summer league is helping, a few guys, get opportunities and get jobs. And so
And you know
it's
what? And there is no developmental league. So, you have the NBA has the D League. The
yeah.
NHL has the AHL. Major League Baseball has the IHL, the different AAA leagues. And that's the one thing that football really lacks. The arena football can never do it because it's a completely different game.
No.
The Canadian Football League, just the rules are just different enough where it's not compatible to the NFL for the most part. For the
Yeah.
most part, so this USFL is a good
And
development league.
I think Anthony played I think near the end he played in the Canadian Football League. Maybe I'm
Who?
wrong. I think Anthony Dorsett. I thought I saw on it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was a different league, but he played 8 years, and
Yeah.
he kind of was a couple years. He did a couple other those other leagues. So I'm not sure which one it was, but yeah, no, it's good. But I'm seeing this Cowboy talk, and this team is stacked. I mean, and like Ethan said, not if but when, or when now. It's better happen freaking right now. This team is stacked. Our offense, I mean, everything that you're seeing. I know Ultra don't want to hear this, so close your ears. My man Jalen Tolbert is looking sharp. He's looking sharp in training camp right now. He's confident. The coaches are raving about him. Schottenheimer sat and talked about him for I don't know how many minutes about just what he sees in him as a player, student of the game, everything that he's doing from his playbook and everything like that. And that's what you need. We need Jalen Tolbert, again, to be the 4. We don't need him to be – we got CD. I mean, Brandon Cooks is lighting it up. You saw Gallup looks like he's back to where Gallup needs to be. So I'm just telling you, it is – I mean, this team – this offense is going to be clicking. Now, Schoonmaker, I know that's Ultra's guy. I mean, man's been hurt. Hopefully he gets back, but I still believe in Ferguson. I believe in Hendershot. I think they can handle the load if Schoonmaker isn't there. The running backs, I mean, Deuce Vaughn, I mean, you see what this guy does. I'm telling you, he's going to be special. And I'm not saying he's going to be this 1,500-yard guy or nothing, but I think the plays that he can make at the opportunities he's going to be impactful. And I think that's important. Obviously, Pollard. Don't know what happens with Malik Davis or whatever else. Who's laughing at me? Someone laughing at me?
No. That's actually a pretty cool comment. Ethan.
Oh, I got to be the only person in the world that works out while drinking and watching the Cowboys.
Triple threat guy.
I like that. And that's dedication. And that's what we got. That's what I'm talking about. That's loving the program, though. We love doing it, but I'm just saying this team is ready. And I don't care. They can say, oh, here we go. Cowboys, this is our year. Well, damn it. The last 10 years, 15 years should have been our year. This team's been competitive, but I'll say it right here. Jimmy, mark the tape. This is the best Cowboys roster that they've had since the 90s. I'm just top to bottom, depth, skill, coaching, everything. When you add it all together, this is the best Cowboys roster since the 90s.
Now, I'm going to first of all, we talked about this last year, and I'm going to say it again. Whoever goes in, if you have you have your team, NFL, whatever it might be, if you go in the season saying we're going to suck, we're going to be terrible, then why you bother even watching, right? I'm going into this season saying Atlanta's going to win the NFC South. People are laughing at me. Screw them. I don't care. I had a discussion with our good friend Camel Piper the other night on Friday. We were throwing a couple drinks back. He's a big 49er fan. And he's kind of laughing at the Cowboy fans right now. And
why? What is he laughing at? His team ain't done shit since '94.
He's saying,
laughing at?
I look at. I'm just saying. I think he's going to be paying a visit during the happy hour.
Well,
I hope so. That's what he
I
says.
hope he pays a visit, and you tell his ass if he's a man, you come on the show the week of the Cowboys game, and we're going to have a little debate. We'll have a little debate about it. We play them on my birthday, and you better believe the Cowboys ain't going to lose on my birthday. So, San Francisco, they beat us. I can't. What am I supposed to say? But it's a new year. You turn the page. I'm looking at their roster. I'm looking at our roster. And I'm telling you right now, I'm taking ours all day long. I'm looking at Philly's roster. I'm looking at our roster. Now, injuries aside on any team, you don't want any injuries. I'm
Right.
taking man for man, player for player, healthy all across the board, coaches, everything that goes with it. I'm taking the Cowboys. No excuses. They got no excuse not to be holding up that Lombardi this year. That's just my opinion, and I'm going to stick to it.
Well, and it's funny because that conversation kind of started when he asked me, who do you think is going to go to the Super Bowl? What I said, well, I'm a Falcon fan, so I'm going to say the Falcons. What am I? Realistically, what do you think? I said, that's I'm rooting for the Falcons. I'm not going to say we're not going to the Super Bowl. And I did follow up by saying that 3-game rule. You really don't know any of the teams till you're 3 games into the season. I don't care who you got on the roster, what's going on. 3 games in. But he was definitely talking some shit about the Cowboys, so I can't wait till you guys mix it up.
Let him talk. I mean, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? They beat us. I'm not going to say it. But we can live in the past, and he can go all the way back to 94. We at least got to go back to 95, right? So we're 1 year better. So he can talk all the shit he wants. It don't matter. But all I'm saying, and I did, Steve, and I don't want to burst the bubbles. I think it was Steve or someone said Simi's going to be number 4. I don't believe it. I think Jalen Tolbert's going to be number 4. Everything that unless the media, unless all the people, and we're going to have Kyle Yeomans on, so we'll ask him point blank about Tolbert and Simi. But I think Tolbert's going to be their 4. So we'll see what happens. But we'll get, again, I'm not at training camp, so I'm not going to begin to say that Simi's having a bad camp or Tolbert's having a much better camp or vice versa. I'll let the guys who, we'll let Kyle Yeomans when he comes in. We're going to ask him that question. So it'll be interesting. But you know what? Whoever it is, that's a good problem to have because that means there's competition. That means these guys are fighting for roster spots. They're fighting for playing time. And that's what you want. You want your bottom of the roster to be dogs. And you want them to, when their opportunity comes in, they're fighting to take advantage of it. And that's what I think we got. And I also got to give credit where credit's due to Micah Parsons because I think Micah Parsons has changed the culture of the team itself. I think McCarthy has changed the culture of the organization and focused more on football, more on that. Let Jerry, let Jerry do whatever the hell Jerry wants to do. Love him as an owner. There's everything's first class, but you saw the press conferences with McCarthy. You just see it different. You see the feel of the offense different. Tuck was talking about it. He's out there this week, so you could check out his channel. He's got a lot of live coverage and videos that he's doing. But he even said, he goes, the offense feels different. He said that it's up-tempo. Schottenheimer is just, he's pushing them. He's vocal. McCarthy and Dak are walking in and out together. They're attached at the hip. So it's everything that you'd want to see. Now, does it has to equate, on the field. Yeah. If none of this works out on the field and ends up blowing up in their face, well, then heads will roll. But I just think this team, everything just feels just different about it. So we'll see what happens.
See, now with my team, I'm very happy with the defense. And Ritter, again, young guy, we'll see what happens. I have faith in him. The only problem, once you get past Pitts and London, you got Mac Hollins, and then our receivers drop off. So if I had any concerns about my team, it's depth at wide receiver. So like you said, it's not a bad problem to have competition, you know?
And I think you're going to get, Atlanta may end up getting, a player or two from the Cowboys because I'm telling you, this roster, you can't keep them all. They ain't going to be able to stash all these guys on the practice squad. And there's other teams, there's other teams like that as well. I'm not going to sit there and say we have the greatest roster, but I'm just saying is we've got a lot of depth, and there's going to be linebackers that we got, that we thought were so great, a couple of years ago. They're fighting for spots. I mean, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Simi's going to. That's just my opinion, just from what I'm reading and what I'm seeing. But like I said, it's a good problem to have. Whoever's our 4, they worked their ass off, and they were in tough competition to get that 4th spot. And I think Turpin, you're seeing what Turpin's doing. I'm sorry to get on a Cowboy rant, Jimmy, but you see what Turpin's doing. They're putting him on offense. He's in there doing, that's almost like what Patterson, just to jump back to give the Falcons credit, they use Patterson in all these different ways. Turpin's a weapon. And get your playmakers on the field and put them in positions to be successful. And that's the coordinator's job, and that's the coach's job to make sure it happens. And I'm just telling you, I'm not dogging Moore. I'm not gonna, I mean, our offense was ranked up top, but situationally and when things went south or things got tough, he had no answers. And his answer was throw Zeke as a center, and whatever the hell that was. you know.
So, Ethan, yeah, that was you guys whooped our ass that game. I remember that was season before last, if I remember. Yeah, Ethan,
This one.
this one right here.
Good luck to the Falcons. That was my first game at AT&T when we beat the Falcons. No, that was if and let me tell you, because I was at that game. If I don't know if Ethan's talking about that one, I can't remember, but there was the game that we had the COVID game, unless it was a year after. The COVID
I thought
game
it was a year after.
hell out of us. It was a year after.
Yeah, because
Okay.
yeah, you guys whooped our ass the last
Why
time
didn't
we
you
played.
go? How come you didn't go to the game?
I don't know. That it's
Probably knew the beat was
why wouldn't we have gone to the game together? Is the question.
That's why I knew that we were supposed to go to the Falcon game and the COVID thing, and it knocked it out. So that's why I
Yeah.
was surprised. Unless you had something that was going on, but I know we always beat the Falcons, except if we have
Well, do you want to rethink that?
Chaz Green in there. Chaz Green.
I got some evidence. So you sure you want to rethink that?
That
statement?
was the Chaz Green game. I said unless it was a Chaz Green game.
Okay.
That was the only one. We had McFadden.
All right. Now I got to break out the evidence.
Look, man, I'm just telling you. I told you when the game was. Didn't I tell you
Okay.
when the game
All right. I'll hold off on the evidence.
You could throw evidence up there.
I could. Okay. Good.
What it
So
I got evidence of me throwing you up in the rack in front of AT&T.
yes. So we I don't know if you guys remember Superman 2, right? And it was kneel before Zod. So
Yeah.
all of us, whether it's Mike, his brothers, whomever, we do kneel games, and we say, okay, whoever loses got to kneel to the other guy. So this is in Atlanta.
Look at you! Blew it up into an 8x10.
Yes, exactly. So I got to keep. I got a little pile of evidence over here, just for situation. Kind of like
bullshit about it is I was supposed to have a Neil match with a Bears fan, and they backed out after I did that. And then you and I, maybe we haven't had a chance to go to a game. What's up, EJ, man? Thanks for stopping in. We definitely, EJ needs to, EJ, if you ain't doing nothing that Saturday, August 12th, when we have our Saturday night party, you definitely need to make sure you join us and hit up the live stream, because I definitely love EJ's takes too. But then everyone backed out. All these people backed out of the kneels.
Yeah.
I had to kneel for the Broncos. I had to kneel for the Bears. I had to kneel for the Falcons, and then everyone backs off of the matches.
Hey, well, I wouldn't. We
up.
went. I won't back out.
All
Our
right,
friend,
you
our
didn't
friend
show
last year, who went to the game with
Did he
us,
back
backed
out? He backed out, didn't he?
Yeah, he backed out because he's a
Yeah.
punk ass bitch, and he knew it was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But you got to take your lumps. It's your team. That's who you root for.
Yes.
So
Yes.
come on.
No.
So that Biggie that August 12th, or Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. The Cowboys game starts at 5. The Falcons will have played the night before, so we'll have everything ready to go.
It's going to be very casual. You guys can bounce in, you bounce out, come and go. We're going to have the stream up. You guys can jump in the stream. We can all just sit and talk. We'll be drinking, have a couple cocktails, watch the Cowboys, first preseason game, get everyone in the mood, and it'll be very low key, laid back, a lot of fun. We can kind of chat back and forth. Like I said, any of you guys that don't live in the Dallas area, or you don't have the hookup that I have, I'll have the game on, so we'll be watching that, and so definitely be good.
Kelly will have the game on too, so that's good.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
So,
are we gonna have any special guests pop in that day, or are we waiting to see what happens?
We, there could be a former Cowboy maybe popping in to say hello. You just never know. I don't know. I put it out there to people. Whatever they do, they do. But there might be some surprises here or there. There may be some people on the channel. There may be some other things. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So
yes,
that's what you want to do. And then like I told you guys, I've already ordered the tent. The tent is being sent to my man Mark. I tracked it to see when it's going to deliver. It's going to deliver on August 17th. A little delay, it's special order. So the tent is going to be delivered to Mark. So we're getting everything set up for the Cowboys Cave first annual tailgate party when we take on the Jets. It'll be our home opener. We'll be coming off that New York Giant beatdown, and then we'll be celebrating and looking to go to 2-0, of course. So we're gonna have a big tailgate party. Everyone is welcome. We'll be, my man Fred's going to be grilling it up. He's going to be making things happen. As we get closer, the thing we'll ask is, if you guys want food or any of that stuff, there'll be you can Cash App or donate or do whatever you want to make sure. Hey, I'll provide some liquors, or we'll provide some beer and all that. But you got to be sympathetic to the cause. I'm not a millionaire, my friend. So, but anyway, we're going to be cooking some food. We'll be having a good time. More importantly, we'll be hanging out. Kelly's going to be there. I'll be there. I know Tuck said he was stopping by. Nix is probably coming by. Eugene Lockhart said he's going to make an appearance. We'll probably have some, once he 1000% confirms, he's 99.99. But once it happens, we'll order some pictures and stuff, and we can do some donations to his charity. He'll sign photos and take pictures and do all that kind of stuff. So we got a lot of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, good stuff, man. And like you said, we got the big shows coming tomorrow. The fantasy football show.
Fantasy football. Do not forget fantasy football show. If you guys are into fantasy football, we've got a great group that's going to be doing it. It's going to be comedy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cracking on each other. It's going to be like old school stuff. So make sure you check that out. And then, like I said, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Dallas time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Kelly K9 and I are having our show on Wednesday, and we got Kyle Yeomans from DallasCowboy.com is going to be coming in. We're going to just talk everything training camp battles. What's he think about Simi and Tolbert for that 4 spot? Linebackers, who's he seeing? What's the step-up guy that he's seeing that's going to be that breakout player that maybe we don't know about or we're familiar with? So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then, like I said, Tuesday as well, Chuck Howley's going to the Hall of Fame. So we've got that. I'll be dropping that video tomorrow morning. So you can, as soon as you punch into work, just go ahead and flip it on YouTube and put it on. And then when you're done, leave it on YouTube, hit shuffle, and watch all the interviews that we've done as well, all the player interviews.
You make
That's
sure you
your
do
job to do tomorrow, Cowboys fans.
You make sure you do that on company time. Very
time.
important. Hey, by the way, what time is that fantasy show tomorrow night?
Do
we know?
I don't know. I think it's 8 Eastern, but I'll find out.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah. So, and we're trying to get to a game. Yeah. That game, the December game, in Philly, versus Philly, I will be at that game. I think we play them on Sunday night. Yeah, definitely. I don't miss a Philly game. You guys need to go too. I'm sure we'll have it won't be a huge tailgate party, but we'll be, I'm going to be setting up. That was my deal with Marcus, man. When I go to these games, I just need a place to camp out. I like to camp out, cook a little bit, have some drinks.
Have some fun. Exactly.
Yeah.
Get prepared for the game.
Get prepared. So anyway, I don't know, Jimmy, man, we're running, these shows are getting later and later, but thank you to all the people that have been checking us out, bouncing in and out, man. And the chat is hopping. We love all you guys for supporting the channel. But if you can, the way to support us even more is tell your friends, tell the Cowboy fans, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all social media. They can go to cowboyscave.com. You can just say, hey, man, go to cowboyscave.com or just Google my tag. So, but yeah, definitely.
Yep. So have a great week, everybody. Looking forward to it. Thanks for coming on. And like Mike said, we have fun. You guys make the show.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
We do have a lot of fun with the interaction. And so I think that's about all I got for tonight. Yeah.
All right. I got to go watch Below Deck. You guys take care, and we will see you tomorrow. I won't see you. I'll see you Wednesday, but we got a good show tomorrow, and I may pop in. So check it out tomorrow. Give those guys a listen. I'll see you. Take care.